Good afternoon, y'all. We're at the Ecofana Creek, not far from the Devil's Hole, where the troll sightings are abundant. We've got our third eye wide open, the pine cone of our mind. I had a magical morning with Gypsy Road, Chad Smith, Tex, and Bigfoot, Michigan, Rob. We all were bouncing information and telling stories of our experiments and data. Plane going above head. That's when the creature will be moving. There was one other car in the parking lot here, so I'm interested to see who else this trail called to today. The famous part of this hike is Two Penny Bridge, which is an awesome suspension bridge that many have used for famous pictures and also just sacred get-togethers. So you gotta think the creatures feed off that energy. This area definitely reminds me of the Garden of Eden Trail, because it winds and bends all over. I've got casting supplies in case I find a footprint. I've got a couple gifts or bait, like Shane Carpenter from Into the 400 calls it. He had an awesome show on Squatch in South Florida that they talked about finding hundreds of footprints over multiple years and getting to see the development of the creatures. And that his area, it's covered in water and then it dries out and these young juveniles just run rampant eating mussel shells, and their foot actually can curve upward like that too. That definitely reminds me of the monkeys. He's in the Ozark Mountains, which is really cool because it's one of my favorite TV shows, and I learned that the Ozark actually has more coastline than California. That's amazing. One of my favorite things about this trail is there's a bunch of little gnomes, garden gnomes, that are placed strategically. And you gotta find them, and the forest really comes alive. But best believe, under the right circumstance, those very figurines get some life. So the goal is to make it to Apple Bridge today. Seen Two Penny, and we walked probably like a half mile, so we probably got to 2.1. The goal is 2.4, then we'll make it back. So 5 miles. Gonna be kind of hightailing it because it will get dark. I have a flashlight, so it's gonna be interesting. Can't wait to come back out here with Tristan and Cameron and camp. I'll show you guys the spot that I was thinking, but might find a better spot farther down. We had some exclusive stuff happen. Look at this. In the green swamp. It was revolutionary. Matt had a direct interaction with 2 Sasquatches. knocking back and forth. And we have it all documented. At first, my mind was thinking maybe it's possible hunters over there or other hikers maybe, messing with us, but you're not allowed to hunt at that state park. And there was no trail, just dense swamp. But we had one knocking from directly ahead of us, and another approached us from the left, and then one loud knock at the very end from far away. We think that was probably Mama calling it back in. We had some frequencies, radiation readings. We found some footprints. It was remarkable. I'm really curious to see this apple bridge. Haven't seen any pictures of it. Two Penny Bridge, is the famous photograph one. 850 Outdoors, his or her picture was the first one that really got me going. We passed near this area going down to my grandparents' house for Panama City. This is about a halfway point. Speaking at the conference was amazing. Bringing this energy and awareness was magical. Got to really go off about the establishment, the skunk ape, the forbidden continents, and the dome above our head. The new Ice Age movie is coming out, all about Middle Earth. Jungle Cruise. You go into the inner world, journey to the center of the earth, journey to Mysterious Island, Jurassic Park, Pacific Rim, Godzilla. They all show it. Digging Up the Marrow. Tex mentioned that today. That was awesome. That's a great movie that shows a plethora of creatures that come out of this deep pit. Again, the sanctuary is narrow. We are all seeking the guardian. These beings are colossus. So are the banshees, the specters, the brutes, the goblins, the hunters. But our eternal flame inside has something they don't, something they seek, something most respect. I'm really excited to see Moonfall. It talks about how the moon might be a cocoon to some bigger creature, maybe to a deity. It's a plasma. It's alive. It was awesome staying at Tim T's house this weekend. Can't say it enough. That's like family. My family's last name is Turner as well. My mom's, my grandparents, a lot of cousins. So it's very cool and very familiar. It was awesome that BF Bud, Angie, Daniel Lundy, Flat Rock Booger, all that came through. And I was showing them all where everything was. And Baby and Chloe, the two dogs, they know me. This place was hit by the hurricane, but there is still forest language in every direction. After a natural disaster, that just leaves more of a playpen for these creatures to work with. Colorado Bigfoot has been popping up in my chats. Definitely a lot of support from him. He's out there looking for these hairy creatures in one of the craziest areas. Man, there's petroglyphs, there's mountains, there's caves, there's giant granite rocks, there's boulders. It's amazing out there, and he's gotten some groundbreaking images. Him and Brandon Bronzini really doing it big. And he actually lived in Mariana for a little bit. So it's crazy that he was regional to this place too. Can't wait till he comes back. And I can show him some of my research spots, and maybe he can say where some of his hot spots were and share some of his tactics. That's what it's really about. Brushing off our best techniques and tactics. But you can't let it consume you too. You all have your own mission, which I love and respect. Just gotta open doors. That's all we all are trying to do. Again, more things in the sky. Look for blurs in the shadows and tree peekers. Where are they pointing? Where is it leaning? Shout out to Marie Demont. She's the queen of the forest language. It was awesome sharing the stage with her, the Mid-Florida research team, Bigfoot Dave, Desi, Wynette, Tim, Mike Aguilar, and the Skunk Ape Roundtable with Robert Robinson, Dave Sidoti, RPG, and Stacy Brown. Thanks again to Martin and Nikki for running it all. Great event. Lyle Blackburn, Lauren Coleman, Maria Mayor. The big headliners. It's very cool. Keep doing enough conferences. Just keep meeting the right people. It's truly amazing. Gary Brand. It was really cool meeting him and doing a soundbite. His podcast is awesome. He uploads TikToks pretty much every single day, narrating scary stories. Thomas Sinclair. He has an awesome magazine. We're going to be working together soon. Phyllis Caesar. She's awesome. You know, she's family. She was on Haunted Hospitals and is a psychic medium. And she is the host of that next Skunk Ape Town Hall Conference that I'm speaking at June 4th. That was a loud knock right there. That had some pop to it. We're going to keep moving in that direction. The forest has calmed down a little bit. My heartbeat has went up a little bit. This stick placement is very interesting because it seems to be just jammed in the ground. It didn't grow like that. It was just standing there right after I heard and recorded a knock. This makes like a perfect arch. It goes into the ground right here, up and over. It's bent down and held up. Right there. That's interesting. Love seeing these mushrooms and the crazy design and color and how it matches up with the Fibonacci spiral and the golden ratio. The light is a little weird at this time because the sun is at a certain angle. I love how this just blows on the ground. That's crazy. And it just keeps going all the way to Ecafana Creek, to Chipola River, to the Apalachicola River, to the Bay, to the Gulf, to the ocean, to Atlantis, to Middle Earth, to heaven and all above and below. Here's that hole. That was really scary. You can hear water flowing below it. So this would all open up into an underground water cavern canyon. Kind of like the Goonies. In my grandparents' backyard in Cincinnati, they used to have crawfish, crawdad, crayfish show up in their backyard, and I'd pick them out of the grass. It was awesome. I always remember the ducks that'd pop up in their in-ground pool as well. Then they moved to the Ohio Valley. That's really crazy. Not far from Raven Rocks and an old man's face in the side of a cliffside. The mud fossils. The mud flood of Tartaria. The Tartarians were 8 feet tall. Giant, magical beings. That's broke off. Perfect little spot to hide behind, crawl under. Also good to look for Native American artifacts in the roots. Get lucky and find an old knife or blade. Those are perfect for coyote, rabbit, squirrel, fairy, gypsy, gremlin, ghoulie to hide inside. Something's moving back there. Placement of all this is just truly amazing. I love seeing the trees find each other. Wonder what water hole that came out of and where it leads. Check the mud for footprints. I've seen a lot of foot traffic shoe-wise, so it's gonna have to be really unique to stand out barefoot. Inside there, that's pretty cool. We're getting closer to the creek where it's said that there are trolls. It's very similar to the story I heard at Iron Bridge, how it's a Sasquatch looking creature but also something just a little different. Of course, Creature from the Black Lagoon was filmed in Wakulla, which is not far from here at all. And the waterways also connect this place pretty closely to the Ocheesee Pond, where one was captured in the 1800s, to Torreya State Park, where Stacy got that footage of a 9-footer. And also Two Egg, where the stump jumper roams, Rocky Creek, where the rod bender is, and also the caves where Donnie Miller had his encounter, in the same area where Tristan and his hog-nosed bear. This is some kind of plank. allure plank. Oh, here's a little gnome. That is really cool. We found him. Not sure what those planks are purpose for, but that is a pretty good eye. I feel like I was meant to find that. There are a lot of these little fairies and gnomes hidden around this path, and we just found another little cache of a llama, a horse, some pumpkins, mushrooms, and also a seashell near a hole. Very, very interesting. There's magic everywhere you turn out here. Just crossing these bridges over the little 6-foot gap gives you true appreciation for the craftsmanship. People live on long past their life. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. As am I. As am I. Wow. Nature is a true gift that keeps on giving. Truly amazing vibes out here. It's definitely gonna soak in the translucent frequencies that are being strung and bounced off the river rock and the banks. I'm looking down to see if anything's been feeding. There's so many angles back here. There's some kind of mud disturbance down there. Very cool. Doesn't look like a footprint. Does look like a weird skid. Oh man. We just found one of the fairy places. Wishes are 10 cents. And music. Some with wings, others with not. That is amazing. And they are just looking perfectly over the water. Here's some scarecrow right here. I love this. I find something new every single time I'm out here. It really gives me much faith and hope in community. Right there, it gets a little swampy and wet. That's where things will get really hairy. Ooh. Look for the real life fairies to be sitting right on that edge. Someone's chair has seen better days. Wow. A handprint. Wow. That's a right hand. Now that is something special. And there's our lizard buddy. Climb fast, my friend. I mean you no harm. Found another. They are all just keeping their eye out. Wow. That looks crazy. I love looking at the shapes of cypress knees and possible ground glyphs. There's many T's and A's and X's out here. This is actually, I think, the camping spot that I wanted to hit up. So it looks like they've pushed a little bit of debris there. No biggie, that'll just keep us even more safe. Dave Shealy said that lima beans are really good food for the Squatch. And Into the 400 said that pawpaw seeds is what they were finding in their dong. And as you guys know, Sasquatch will eat frozen poop out of porta potties. We eat kitty litter, roadkill, stuff out of dumpsters, plant scrubs, and a lot of other things that you can get your hands on out here, like ginseng, mushrooms, berries, moss, seaweed. So yes, they're the apex predator, but they're also nature geniuses. And it smells a little mysterious over here. That kind of reminded me of like a handprint right off bat. Very exquisite spot. I'm sure a lot of native people have worshipped right here and just cleaned off after a hot, long day. Keeping my eyes peeled on the ground for pygmy rattlesnake, cottonmouth, copperhead, eastern diamondback, yellow and green anaconda, Burmese python. There's some other large constrictors here. I don't mean them any harm. I definitely look forward to photographing them. A canebrake timber rattlesnake is the next one on my bucket list. Coming up on those, this is the perfect terrain, but that will be wild. Make me jump, make me shiver, but it's what dreams are made out of. Look at that. That is pretty interesting. I see an A, I see a cross, I see an X. I see that aligned perfectly, hung up. You have to know what you're looking for to catch that. Perfectly set up. Keep your eyes peeled. They know we know. I know they know that I know. But I mean no harm. I come in the name of the great creator. I'm just a little naked person, descendant of the one who died for all. I love nature. I've crossed that bridge. And this energy is special, is sacred. There's a lot going on in the Florida swamps. The cabbage man is near, but dogman sightings have gone through the roof, and also stories of frog people, cat-eyed people, and something much stranger. There's been sky trumpets coming from the clouds, UFO sightings all over the Gulf. Many people think the awakening is coming. That the door is open. That is a perfect place for a creature to reside. Another strange situation. The force speaks to you when you open your ears. The world caresses you when you finally open your eyes. I did record a knock earlier from this direction. So things are on the strange side. Back here is often the cut. You get a Children of the Corn, Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe, but then you pass by a couple other houses and trailers that look really nice and welcoming. So it's a funny mental dilemma you go through when you're pulling up. That looks like a boot print, but it drops down on the ground and floats to the creek. this way, my friend. Another ground glyph. Sounded like I heard huffing in the back across the creek. Sounded like I just heard a triple knock back there. And they knew right when I was getting to the waterfall and I wouldn't be able to get it clear. That is interesting. Oh. I love how it's riding down that little section. It's so cool. What an awesome spot. Checking across the bank in that little beachy area. See if there was footprints, but it looked pretty smooth to me. Huh. Definitely some foot traffic through that soft spot. Here's the Beaver Dam Bend. Another spot you can get right down to the river, pluck mussels out, probably catch some fish. Very interesting hole. That bird is making some strange sounds. Can't think that just naturally. It does that all day. Something set it off, or it's being a warning. There's a bird straight ahead. That's very cool. Just checking us out. Some heavy foot traffic right here, but it's all looking like boots. Yeah. Those are boots. You're bound to find something of worth if you look long enough. Would love to find a shark tooth down here. It's a good muddy spot, good place for footprints. That's a cool little structure. Ride the moment. Very interesting. Couple cool trees going across, creating a little bit of a dam. And beavers and other animals definitely utilize it down there. I saw a remarkable beaver dam at my grandparents' house, far behind their neighbors. It created like a majestic lake in the middle of the woods. It was remarkable. And then it ended up like bursting or something because it was no more. So I'm forever grateful, because I only was there like twice. My grandpa showed us, and it's remarkable. I heard a snap in the woods over there to the left. Like something broke a branch under its foot. No, I just heard that. Oh, oh. Could be a bird, could be an owl, could be a wild man skunk ape. Huh. Huh, look at this. Perfectly placed right there. It's awesome. Megaliths, mega structures, sacred geometry, ancient fractals. It's everywhere. Sometimes you gotta close your eyes. Other times you gotta open them. There was a big root back there that looked like a booger. We're closing in on Two Penny Bridge. Sally. Some napkins. Some pirates say X marks the spot. Others say it's where the sticks fall, my friend. Definitely gotta come out here after a storm when all the foot traffic is wiped clean, so we could see what really stepping through here. Because with all the boot marks, a wild thing would easily be marching and stepping through here undetected, because everything is so scrambled. But that's why I'm trying to keep my eyes open for like low density areas. And strange markings. Good to find another friend. Still looking over the path. As you can see, just how much it hides behind the foliage and the scrub and the bush. Keep your eyes out for feathers, rabbits, flowers out of place, wreaths, marbles, perfect circular stones, and other rare trinkets that these creatures love to exchange with us. Think about gifting blankets, blades, and maybe seeds. We are entering the corridor. It totally reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. The sun is going down. That's when things come out to play. Here's an awesome overflow creek that cuts right to the river. Perfect place to look for relics. Perfectly smooth. I'm sure there are some crystals. Possibly even petrified wood. That hides in these hills. This reminds me of the Tennessee mountains on Cohutta, which means big frog. The land It's actually an old, ancient titan. I found a lot of cool stones in the water. I actually found a 1983 British pound, the year they issued it. Down there, in these steep cliffs, this would be a perfect place for a furry man. Imagine this, but just on a larger scale. You could hide a whole tribe under the tree of life. Think about the things that can live in the cracks of trees. And when their eyes open, you see. Cool to see where these things are being eaten by the strange creatures out here. Got my EMF detector just to see if we can pick up any readings out here. Maybe tortoise structure or a footprint. I want all you guys to look up the story of Albert Osmond. He was abducted. Mooselot Harry was also taken. When he returned, his hair turned white. So he truly was scared of something. I truly believe that Call Infinity, Henry McCabe, Jared Adero, Dennis Martin were all victims of the wild man as well. As you can see, this slide down there. I don't see any large footprints, but there's definitely been some activity. You can see those hillsides and cliff sides and a beautiful waterfall over there. I'm just thinking about all the caverns that can hide underneath just this ground. I'm picking up a very strange smell, and one of my batteries just drained super quick. So we need to keep our eyes peeled. Strange sound over there across the river to the right. It's like a chirp. Like a bark. The trail marking is peeling off. I found 2 deer carcasses recently. One pretty fresh, another head to full skull. I come as a friend, just curious about nature and the mysteries of this world. A lot of napkins and wipes. See garbage over there. Camping area. Very cool. This is the first time on the hike that I had a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. Very unique back here. Lots of places to hide. Lots to work with, lots to build. That's standing there, that's standing there. This is amazing back here. Love these moss pods. I can see fairies having a lot of fun there. I don't think I'm going to cross any farther past here. I'm going to leave an offering. I have tobacco. Good amount of tobacco that I'm going to leave right here at the barrier. Definitely appreciate the open passage. Thank you for all the lessons through nature. I'll definitely be back. I hope to camp nearby and us to have some positive interactions. I just don't think it was worth it to go past the barrier while I'm out here alone and the sun's going down. I want to build rapport, trust, and predictability. And if they could see that I respect simple commands, then maybe they will reveal themselves in creative ways. But if you get your eyes ready, you can see that they've been along the journey the entire time. That place up there, something special. You can feel it while you're walking up that hill. You enter a domain that is different than all of this down here. So that is going to be my next target area. We're going to make it to Two Penny Bridge. Spend some time there. And head back. The sun's going down, so it's going to get dark and weird here very soon. I'm very excited. I hope my tobacco offering shows I'm here. Heard multiple strange noises that lead me to believe they're keeping tabs on me today. Here it is, the Two Penny Bridge, the famous suspension bridge of Ecofana Creek. Wow, I love this place. Just have some fairies and their stones. Truly amazing. And bears are magical in themselves. The Florida Trail Association, much props. You have some awesome fairies, raccoon, foxes, more mushrooms, gnomes. Wow. A little birdhouse, a fairy home for Tinkerbell. I love how it's got some give to it. I feel like Indiana Jones. There's a really cool suspension bridge up in Tennessee and Greenville, South Carolina. We might as well just keep trucking along. See if I can make it to the Apple Bridge. It's gonna get dark, but I already knew that. That is a truly remarkable structure in the middle of the woods. Not too far from the Devil's Hole. It's interesting. Earlier on the path, everything was flowing downward, left to right. Now it's flowing downward, right to left, because we switched sides. The voyage of James Cook shows that he went around the plate, the obelisk disc, not the ball. Or Baal, the goat man god. Wow. Cool little swamp pit. Can definitely keep some fish in there. Keep them alive and fresh. Under control. I thought it was really cool how Shane Carpenter was talking about these rock pits dug up underwater near creeks that you could pretty much capture things when the tide goes out. It's really fascinating. Luckily I have a full bottle of water and some cashews in my bag. I'm feeling good. Keeping a good pace right now to see if I can make it to this Apple Bridge. Another gnome. Sounded like I heard whispers. Might be the babbling brook. Still wondering where that person from the other car is. Maybe they're camping out here. Maybe it's a missing person. I sure hope not. Something kicked up the leaves right there. Right down there would be a perfect area for a skunk ape to hang out. Right at the bend. Huh. Something just moved quickly. But I had my eyes on this guy. That's a big gnome. You know, this way bigger than every other one. That is interesting. Dogs barking in the distance, going haywire. Remind me of Static Shock. There's an awesome waterfall right over there. This reminds me of back home, Rocky River, in the metro parks. Huge walls, old fossils. Even Jeremy Wade went there for an episode. It's interesting when the Y sticks all around the path. Awesome hole for something to burrow into. That's another awesome waterfall. That waterfall right there makes this all worth it. That's amazing. A lot of people in Florida would say, there's no waterfalls. That right there is a waterfall, guys. Beautiful waterfall. This is amazing back here. Gonna have to wait till the very last minute to use the flashlight. And I have a knife with me. I'm definitely gonna have to arm up on my way back. Opens up the corridor right here. Enchanted forest. I feel like I'm Snow White in the Huntsman. Maleficent. I'm Loki, I'm Floki, I'm Ragnar, I'm Rollo. I'm Ivar, the boneless. I am you, you are me. And I am Chad Smith. Apple Bridge has to be coming soon. That looks like the Green Knight. Here it is, Apple Bridge. Yes. That's awesome. The apple. I just heard a strange bark from over there. truly magical. Apple Bridge. Wow. Came I saw I conquered. Can't wait to go further. Many strange barks deep into the woods. Coyote, wolves, panther, bearcat, feral dog, dogman, loogaroo, rougaroo, lycanthrope, lichen, werewolf, wolfman, were. It's really cool how it flows underwater right there. I thought that was a shark tooth. It's a lot darker than it's showing on the screen, but it is very peaceful. I'm keeping my eyes peeled and my ears open. Wow. As fun as this has been, it will be a relief once I get back to the car. But I love it. Pushing to the limits. I really wanted to see the Apple Bridge, and it did not disappoint. Next, I want to see how far it goes back there and up in my target area. You can definitely tell some foot traffic's right through there. Here we go. Back at Two Penny Bridge here in the Panhandle, Ecofana Creek. Definitely recommend it. Got my awesome bandana on that my homie Jake bought me at the Bigfoot conference. It was really cool seeing him chop it up with my Bigfoot friends. He's been with me for a lot of cryptid encounters. We've done a lot of psychedelic research, a lot of blood moon eclipses, full moons, 2001 Space Odyssey on LSD, Trance by Danny Boyle, and also Enter the Void by Gasper. There are rite of passages. When you complete that, your mind is open in a new way. Same thing like seeing Kobe Bryant play, Michael Jordan. I saw LeBron James play in high school, hundreds of times in the NBA. Met him. Seen Yao Ming, 7'6". Zydrunas Lagauskas, 7'1". Andrew Bynum, 7'1". Sean Bradley, 7'6". Anderson Varejao, 7'1". Tyrone Hill, 7 foot. I've been around the people with the giant bone. The genetics are deep inside of them. Near my hometown, there's a grave of the tallest couple to ever exist. 2 giants, 8 feet tall. And their home is a museum. couple more minutes. I'm gonna bring my flashlight out just for filming purposes so you can see. We'll give it one more strong hiker's minute. I got my ankle boots on today. Need to really get a good pair of knee-high snake boots soon. The swamp thing, the bunny yip, the Montauk monster, all have possibilities in the swamp. A Werewolf of Fever Swamp is my favorite Goosebumps tale. The Beast is one of my favorite R.L. Stine books, though. And that takes place at Kings Island, back home. There's also tunnels underneath Cincinnati where the Reds live. The Detroit Reds are also a fairy species. Pink skies, magic nights. It gets dark quick out here. The forest comes alive at night. The chorus of crickets and slimy things crawling onto the path. There's no better time to be out here for some Cabbage Man research. I saw a white thing across the path ahead of me. Couldn't tell if it was an armadillo or maybe one of these gnomes that are out here. Definitely a little strange. I can't get cell reception. Really hoping my light battery stays on for a while. Because I'm still pretty deep in the swamp. A lot of dogs barking and howls in the distance. Once in a while you'll hear a crack. My EMF detector has a backup light. My cell phone is near dead. But luckily, I know the path pretty well, and there's not many cliffs in the remaining trail. Sounded like a loud knock. A lot of dogs going off. Definitely need to bring a backup flashlight next time. I have my EMF detector, but it's literally just for the small spot. It doesn't illuminate much. Pitch black out here. It's pretty scary when the flashlight goes off. But I'm getting back to the car now. So I made it. This time. Take it easy.